Welcome to Buy, Sell, Hold. I'm Keith Martin, publisher of Sports Car Market, and with me today is collector car expert Philip Richter. Now, Philip, we have quite a car to talk about today. It's a Mercedes Gullwing, but not the car from the 50s. Are you ready to take on this supercar from the 2000s?
Yes, I am.
All right, and away we go. You know, Philip, when the Gullwing was introduced in the 50s, it was a landmark car. But it took Mercedes 50 years to make another Gullwing version. Tell us what that was.
So, Keith, the Gullwing of the 50s was such an iconic car. And the amazing thing that I find about that car is that it was only 10 years out from the war and the total destruction of Germany that they came out with this iconic, at the time it was a supercar. They even made a few examples in aluminum, which is hard to believe, showing the fortitude and the energy of the German people that 10 years after war built a car like that. But the newer generation SLS Gullwing is also equally a special car. It's obviously very tough to follow that act from the first iteration, and I think the Mercedes engineers were hesitant to try to reinvent that character of the 1955 iconic Gullwing. But technology changed, demands changed, and there was a market for that car in the late 2009-10 period. And I think they made the right choice to go forward with it.
So Mercedes kind of dipped its toe into the supercar market with the McLaren SLR. How was that the precursor to the SLS?
I kind of think they're different. There's probably some lineage, and there probably is. The precursor is probably a good word for it. But the SLS is really a drivable car. It's got the 6.3 liter 8 in it. It's comfortable. It's not a supercar nearly in the manner of the SLR McLaren, which is just a monster. I mean, that car, I've ridden in that car. That car will bite pavement up until 150 miles an hour. It will try to be grabbing onto the road. The SLS is not that car. It's much more of a drivable car. It's a exotic car because of its doors. They did make it in a convertible as well, which just doesn't, to me, the lines don't really work in a convertible. But it's a tame, drivable, exotic car.
Philip, what did that car do for Mercedes' image when it came out?
It definitely had a big splash when it arrived on the market. People were excited about it. I think it wasn't controversial, and I don't think people viewed it negatively that they were messing with the iconic history of the company by recreating a Gullwing. It's very much its own car. The fact that it has Gullwing doors is just one part of it, but it's a special vehicle. It's a two-seater. It's very comfortable. It's very modern. Has all the modern features today that cars have in this era: satellite radio, airbags galore, obviously anti-lock brakes, etc. A lot of aluminum, and definitely Mercedes race technology made its way into that SLS along the way.
So, Philip, the SLS is now a decades-old supercar. When you show up at a fancy restaurant and the valet comes out, does he say, gee, why can't you afford a real Mercedes, a new one?
No, not at all. I mean, it would not be like pulling up to a restaurant in a DeLorean or something like that. It's certainly a legitimate car. It's not so much a supercar as it is a halo car, and it still is a halo car. I think you get a lot of respect pulling up in that car at any event, at a dinner, at a concours, wherever, because it is ultimately an AMG built Mercedes with Gullwing doors, a lot of technology, and a lot of swagger.
Where's the demand in the market for that car? Who's the buyer?
I think the buyer is someone who wants a great value, who doesn't mind driving a 10-year-old car that's in every aspect a modern car, even by today's standards, and they don't want to pay a lot to have a halo car. And the cars of value right here in the market. I mean, they're trading, anywhere from 110 to 200. Obviously not. I'm not talking about the SLS Black Series edition, which is a much different kettle of fish. But you can buy one of these cars at a damn good value today.
Did they have any systemic issues with them mechanically, things you had to worry about?
Not that I know of. I think they're pretty reliable. You know, people talk about the Mercedes 6.3 8-cylinder engine having head bolt issues. I have a CLK 63 Black Series, and people are always like, "Oh, there's huge head bolt issues." It's. I think that motor is bulletproof. It's it's an AMG hand built motor. I don't think the SLS has any long history of mechanical problems.
So, Philip, let's talk about the market for the car. Is this car, would you rate it a buy, you can't wait to get your hands on one, a hold, you just stick it in the back of the garage, or sell, you're lining up to sell it? Buy, sell, or hold? What's Philip Richter say?
Keith, I'm going to say it's a hold. It's a car whose time has not yet come. It's not really respected in the market for what it is. It is a halo car. I think it needs some more time on its side. And I would, if I owned one, I would be holding it and enjoying it. It's certainly not a sell here because I think it's undervalued. And I think the car will catch fire in the next 3 to 5 years and be pretty desirable.
Thank you, Philip. That wraps it up for today's Buy, Sell, Hold. Philip Richter rating the AMG SLS as a solid hold.